Okay, so this one's going to be very quick, very straightforward. Remember that I is equal to the square root of -1, okay? This is really the primary rule that you want to remember for this. So if I have a problem like negative square root -5, remember -5 is really -1 times 5, which means this is really the square root of -1 times the square root of 5 with this negative that sits on the outside, okay? And so the square root of -1 I know is I times the square root of 5, negative. So your final answer is just this, and that's all you have to know how to do, okay? So it's just identifying where the I is inside the problem here. Now the reason that I can go from here to here is because of this rule, where if I have A times B square root, it's really the square root of A times the square root of B. So you can see here that -1 times 5, the square root of -1 times 5 is really just the square root of -1 times the square root of 5. And you know that the square root of -1 is just I times the square root of 5, and we had this additional negative that was sitting up front here, so it just becomes -I square root of 5. Okay, that's really it for the explanation on this. It's just know when I is when to implement I, and that's pretty much it.